Hey everybody, it's Ed the Old Tech Guy. Thanks for visiting the channel. Some of you who are just visiting may want to know what my channel's about. Let me reiterate it for some of you who have been here for a while, and for those of you who are new, let me just tell you. It's about tools, tech, DIY, and sometimes comics, because I really like comics. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about making some extra money. No better way to make extra money with some tech. One of the ways you can go ahead and make that side hustle work for you is to scour around eBay or Craigslist or Let Go. And while I was doing that this weekend, guess what I found? A MacBook Air. I can tell from a few of the markings that this is a 2013 model. I can't tell if it's early 2013 or late 2013. I can tell that it's a Retina display from the screen and some of the button configurations. It gives me that hint, right? I don't want to look up the EMC number, the serial number, or the model number because I want it to be a surprise. Either this is going to be a real cool machine for editing, or it's going to make a real good gift for somebody. Or I may just sell it and make that side hustle money. If you want to know what's inside here and what I got for $100, yes, $100. The seller originally wanted $200. I told them, being the size, from what I can tell, this is probably going to be the low end unit. I'll give you $100. It's the best way I could go. It's a steal for that price. I know I can refurbish this up a little bit by giving it a good cleaning, changing the thermal paste and doing some other stuff and get my money back and then some. Or, like I said, it'll make a great gift. If you want to see me do that, stick around and watch this. All right, I'm glad you stuck around. For reasons of making this video as short as possible, I've gone ahead and taken out some of the screws from the bottom here, okay? So right down here, you've got all your screws to get to the bottom, okay? The main thing you have to understand is that these two screws right here are different than the rest. They're much shorter. All of these have like a spot that's just a bit, you know, I hope you'll be able to tell there. It's just got just a bit of metal, and then the screw starts, or the screw portion. The ones in the back are just really, really tiny, and they don't have any of that metal spacer. And that's probably because they're really close to the screen here. So these two, remember, these are the short ones. The rest are the longer ones. So let's take these out and let's see what we got in here. I'm using a P5, Papa 5. And all Macs use that weird configuration. I say weird because not a lot of PCs use it. And I'm for the most part, I'm a PC guy. No need to worry about which one's best or better, but they're all really computers. It's just really the operating system and how they're built that's different. There's two snaps as you go to pull this off that you feel as you lift. Don't worry, you won't break it. But here you go. Look at this. Looks pretty good. Pretty dirty. Guys, I have to tell you, there's a smell here, but for the most part, this looks really good. There is something that's worrisome there, and that's this guy right here. Look at that. There's some oil there or some liquid that concerns me a bit, but I've gone ahead and tried to boot this thing up, and it gave me the flashing file. So remember to be grounded when you do some of this. I want to show you guys how I'm going to boot this up. So now that we had a peek inside, we're gonna go ahead and just put one screw in. We're not even gonna make it tight. We just don't want this to slide and cause contact and short portion of the board out. That would be really bad. Again, really dirty here. You wanna hit Command R, power. And that's a great sound. I like that. Okay, let me get these lights off so you can see a little better. That's much better. And this is your disk utility. From here, I just went into disk utility and formatted my disk, and then I went into reinstall macOS. You want to do reinstall macOS from internet. You just hit enter or continue. And it'll tell you all the goodies. Your system's gonna be the biggest disk here. I've got one labeled as, this has got 121 or 128 gig hard drive, most likely. That's why it's reading it as 121. It's got that for data. So that's my drive. I've gone ahead and formatted this already to speed up the video and loaded Catalina. Maybe in another video I'll go through and how to install the operating system. Tons of videos out there that tell you how to do it. That's what I love about YouTube. If I haven't done it, somebody else is doing it. All right. There's Ed the Old Tech Guy. There's my login name, password. And there you go. macOS Catalina loaded. This thing's working. I wonder what's inside. Before we clean it up, we should find out. All right, so we can tell here, this is a MacBook Pro with an i5 dual core. Man, I really wish I would have gotten the bigger one, but this is still great for everyday work, and I don't see anything wrong with this being either a very good gift or you know, just using it for myself, just to have something that I can have macOS on. So this is a MacBook Pro, dual core, Intel i5 at 2.4 gigahertz. It's got 4 gigs of RAM, and I'm going to do a Nova Bench test. All right. Looks like we got a CPU score of 381, a GPU score of 178, a disk score of 81, and a RAM score of 155. Altogether, a Nova Bench score of 796. Not a gaming machine for sure. I've got some low-end servers that would probably put this thing to shame. But for a MacBook, not bad at all, especially these starter units. And Macs really hold their value. A lot of people will buy them used. And if you're just going to do spreadsheets, surf the internet, use FaceTime, you know, this is going to be a great machine. Now let's go ahead and see if we can do a different type of test here. Let's go ahead and do the Cinebench, right? Let's see what kind of score that gives us. There you go, 627. Not bad. Again, a machine really built for some productivity, some basic school stuff, office type work. This is going to work out great. Parents, uncles that are not heavy computer users probably use this till the day it just stops working. Now that we've got an idea of what's inside of it, from a processor RAM standpoint, let's look at how much we're looking at with the battery, because the battery is your other concern, right? Your battery here shows a cycle count of 694. That's a heavy cycle count. This thing's being used. It's got some usage for sure. It's not a completely dead battery. When you check the power options, it tells you that it's still good and it still charges, and it actually still works pretty. It acts pretty fine. I haven't found an issue with it yet with my testing. Please note that we've done this all without the power cord, which the guy did give me. And that's right here. Okay, so for $100, this ends up being a great deal. It's not an out of this world deal, but it's a good deal. Now let's go ahead and give this machine some deep cleaning and some loving. It needs it badly. Let's go ahead and start by shutting the system off. Okay, the first step we got to do is disconnect the battery. Again, can't stress enough that the best thing you should do is be grounded and try to use some plastic spudgers. And you don't want to use anything metal. Don't use this guy for this, okay? Here's your battery terminal, and we're gonna keep spudging underneath to lift it. Remember, we're just out to clean it today. We're not really looking to replace anything. Here's my NVMe drive. I would love to upgrade that to an SSD at some point. We've got where the grease, that nasty grease was around. I'm gonna use some alcohol, but really the main thing is to check the thermal paste under here and look at this dust on this guy here. We're gonna brush that off and see if we can get a vacuum to it. Okay, so these are little feet with stickies on them. I'm sure somebody on Amazon or eBay sells the replacements, because once you take them off, the glue isn't going to hold well anymore. see this cable right here that we've got? We've got to pull that guy out. Again, we're not a fan of using any metal. You don't lift up, you got to push back. You can tell by the configuration of it. I use my nail because it helps me, but that guy right there, just push back. I grabbed each end, push back. This heat pipe comes here, and there's a Phillips head right here. We are going to gently remove this guy. Don't pull hard. Take your time. What is that, a 000? Triple zero worked. Okay. And it looks like that came out. All right. Wow. That was some work. So we're going to clean up this this mess here. And I mean, it doesn't look so bad. It's still liquidy. Cinebench score didn't change, but I like what I saw here in the Nova bench. Let's see here. Oh, that's Cinebench. I like what I saw on Nova Bench, where I got just a few points higher. It wasn't anything to say it made a major difference, but it did make a little difference, a minor difference, which shows that making sure that it's clean, making sure it has brand new thermal paste. Those are important for your computer. The computer's original thermal paste may not have completely dried out, which was why you're seeing that there's only a small difference in scores. But overall, I think this went very well. It came out really clean from the top side, from the user side of it. It looks almost brand new. The inside looked brand new. The only thing that's really hurting here is that this thing is a 2-core 4-thread CPU with 4 gigs of RAM. That's the only thing that kind of hurts. The Iris graphics aren't that powerful either to play games. Again, this is a productivity computer. I think this is going to do somebody some good as they go ahead about their day doing basic work. And here you go, about 3 hours ago, I did a test and it came out at 812, 3 hours. Here's another 796. So that's my last one. 12 minutes ago, 815. So I'm ranging right around the same spots. I think this unit's perfect for $100. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. Well, everybody, this is my video on how you can make some extra money. We could have replaced the battery. We could have done a few more things to it, but really, if we're going to give it to a family member, I would do that. If we're going to turn around and sell it, maybe for an extra $100 or an extra $50, they can replace their battery. They can take it to Apple, or they can have it professionally replaced at another location. I think the deal stands for itself. $100 for this unit is fair game for me all day long. You all can do this too. Scour the internet, scour eBay, scour Craigslist. You'll find deals like this. Clean them up, change thermal paste, replace the hard drive. That may be something I may do before I try to sell this. Maybe go in and put an SSD in there so it's got a 500 or 1 terabyte drive, and that will actually yield me quite a bit more money. All right, everybody, this is Ed the Old Tech Guy, wishing you the best. Please, if you're liking the content, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We really need you here. I'm really trying to grow this community. Tools, tech, DIY, and sometimes comics. Enjoy the videos, leave comments. I appreciate all you do. Have a great one, everybody. This is Ed the Old Tech Guy, signing off.